your way right on in. Before we get started, I want to welcome you, family. Welcome each of you to Scriptorial Inspirations. As a side note, I am outside. You may hear some horn blowing, you may hear some cars going by, but nevertheless, let's focus on the message at hand. Today I want to talk to you about a queen. The queen name is Josheba, Jehosheba. Now, the story to me, you all, was quite challenging in understanding, so I'm going to sum it up as best as I could. But to follow up the reading, I would like for you all to go into First Chronicles 28, 4 through 7. And you can also go to Second Chronicles 21 and 7. And it speaks a little bit about it in Revelations 5, but I can't remember exactly where about in Revelation it spoke on it. I'm going to tell you all, you got to be willing to do good in a not so good world. You got to be willing to do good in a not so good world. I prepared myself and prepped before you go live on YouTube. Would you believe the moment I hit live, the whole YouTube thing shut down? So I said, you know what, enemy, you ain't going to stop me. I'm not going to go back through the steps of prepping the video like I do before I go back and edit it. But guess what? I'm still going to go live just as is because you don't want me to go live. But nevertheless, in the words of Edmund Burke, he once said, the only thing necessary for the trumpet of evil is for good men to do nothing. Say it one more time. The only thing necessary for the trumpet of evil is for good men to do nothing. As I talk about this queen here suffered many evilness back in the day, following Judah's death. Now, with Judah's death, his mother, Azahah, Ahazih, she was the queen of Judah. She wanted her son to inherit everything. She didn't want nobody else to have it, and she was determined to use her evil ways to be sure that her son inherit everything, and Judah had it all alone. Okay, when she set herself out to do that, Edmund Burke's statement came true, because the royal court of Judah had an intervention of good men. When I say intervention of good men, the good men in the case, they stood up, but it was one queen that stood up, and that's Josheba, Jehosheba. When she stood up, she managed to rescue one of her brother's sons that had passed away. One of the sons that passed away that she managed to save, she took that little boy with her husband and she put him into a temple. When she put him into a temple, she hid him. She hid that young baby for 6 years. 6 long years Josheba kept this baby hid. When she kept that baby hid in the temple, her husband was a priest at that time. Counting the tremendous risks that she could have faced during that time, she still kept that child with her. One day, she decided to not forfeit what she stood to gain. She took the child out. When she took it out, after the 6 years of keeping him and raising him up, her and her husband, a lot of people started rushing them. When they started rushing them and crowding them, they was, glad to have him. She still wanted to keep him sheltered because Judah's mama, which who wanted him to rule, had already sent out a thing to say she wanted all those men killed. So when she bought that baby out, she immediately threw him into hiding again. When she rushed to quell him, to keep him from that crowd, she ended up getting murdered. She did. But in the midst of her getting murdered, her son, the one that she hid, which name is Joash, Joash, became king and immediately started to do the work of unevil doing that was going on in the land at that time. Let me tell you something as I get ready to explain something to you. As representatives of Christ, as representatives of having strong character of yourself, are you willing as an individual to continue with the goodness that God has placed in you and would like to see us spread across to each other? Or are you willing to engage in the struggle of evilness against this evil world? Sometimes At great risk, it's going to cost yourself. I'm not saying cost yourself as your freedom, as your life as it should, but it's going to cost you. The risk of taking actions against wrongdoing, the risk of taking actions against wrongdoing are much smaller than the consequences of doing nothing at all. The risk of doing something good. Are you willing, as a servant of Christ, to continue to do good? Or sit back and do nothing and watch those consequences? There's many wrong actions going on in the world today. It's many. You don't have to involve yourself in all of them. There's many wrong actions going on within a family. Are you willing to intervene? Are you willing to be different? There's many wrong actions going on with siblings. Siblings. Are you willing to intervene? Are you willing to let it go on and do nothing and watch the outcome of not doing nothing versus you say something and intervene? And when you intervene, you don't got to come in with flooding words of negativity. You got to go in with words of putting somebody down. You come in with a better plan than what you already seen when you walked in. You make your suggestions. Don't impose them. You make your suggestions. It's up to them to listen. But are you willing, first and foremost, to take a stand in a world that's doing wrong? As a recap of today's video, we spoke on Josheba, which is the queen that hid that child for 6 long years. When she hid that child for 6 long years, she bought that child out, which is Joash. When she bought him out, a lot of people started crowding him and she sheltered him. She passed away. The mother of Judah, who wanted her son to be the ruler of everything, which had set the word out to have everybody killed, didn't get what she wanted. So Josheba's son, the one she hid, became the king. And he immediately went to work to start undoing exactly all the wrongdoing that was going on at that certain time. You can follow up more reading on Josheba in 2 Chronicles 22, 28, 21, and a little bit in Revelation 5. I'm not sure the exact scripture. From Scriptoria Inspirations, I love each and every one of you all with the love of Christ. From Scriptoria Inspirations, I love each and every one of you all with the love of Christ. Remember to press your way through and through. How you going to press your way? With the written knowledge and promises that God has made equally to each of us, as he so graciously gives us 24 hours in a day. It is what it is. Hey, I love you all with the love of Christ. You all enjoy your weekend. It's Super Bowl weekend. And you'll see me look around because there's a lot of traffic in this parking lot. But you all enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Whatever team you're rooting for, may they win. Enjoy the good fellowship. And hey, relax. I love you all. I'll see you in the next video.